Bono and two college students who traveled with them last spring met a 30-year-old African woman named Eleanor. Look at her story. Look at this.
Eleanor has HIV. She's a single parent raising Mabel and Mabel's two sisters.
Well, what do you do to be healthy? Like, how do you keep yourself healthy?
We all just sat around this coffee table and discussed what it's like to be HIV positive for Eleanor.
I got a brain of headache and the skin rash all over my body.
Almost as bad as the disease itself is the stigmatization that goes on around AIDS.
People changed around her when they found out she was HIV positive.
They don't want to share with me plates, cups. They ignore us. They ignore me. That hurts me very much, and it makes me sick.
People just terrified to find out if they're HIV positive, and then if they find out they have it, they're not going to be able to get access to the drugs. Are you on the drugs to keep you healthy?
I haven't started those drugs because they are very expensive.
She's got a death sentence on her head. We're here because we want to get the message back to the United States, where I come from in Europe, that it's not acceptable that your mother doesn't have access to the drugs that can keep her alive to see your kids. We don't think that's acceptable.
I think what people don't realize, I think we in America don't realize that what's going on in Africa now, you're going to miss a whole middle generation. So you're going to have young people and very old people because everybody in that middle age range is dying.
Yeah, they're gone. You go to parts where, you know, a third of the people in a city have a death sentence on their head. Just imagine you're going to the market or you're hanging out in a mall and a third of the people in the mall are going to die. Just, you know, it's important to...
And you were saying while that tape was running, that's why it was so important to have Chris there because of the ostracization.
Yeah, because, you know, people like Chris, he went and he spoke in schools and said, you know, he's telling, you know, young women, you don't have to have sex if you don't want to. He was telling men, you know, come out if you're worried about, you know, that you might have HIV, get tested. And because he says it, people are listening, people look up to him. They know who he is. There's a lot of American stars that have real weight in Africa, and I think we gotta be grateful for that.
Well, Chris says... I want to say one thing. I just want to say how, you know, we always talk about the bad stuff about Africa, but Africa is one of the most beautiful places on earth. When I went out there with Secretary Colin Powell, I stayed out in Gabon, a country, it's right on the coast of Africa, and the people are so beautiful, the people are so nice. Everywhere in Africa is beautiful. Cape Town is beautiful. It's just a beautiful, beautiful place, and people
you just name dropped there a minute. You were hanging out with Secretary Colin Powell. You're hanging out with him, why?
Well, I went out there to, you know, because I'm doing my movie, I'm playing the President of the United States, and I went out there to sort of, you know, get in his ear.
So you're playing the first black president of the United States?
Yeah,
that should be pretty funny. With you as the first black president of the United States.
Yeah. So, you know, I went out there with him, but it was kind of, you know, it was kind of scary because it's like traveling with your daddy. You know, he was like, yes, sir, yes, sir, all right, yes, sir, yes, sir. He come out, you know how he move his head. He's like, Chris Tucker, are you all right? Yes, sir. Because I thought, you know, if I do something wrong, they'll throw me off the plane. Get him off the plane. Get him off the plane. Security breach. Get him off the plane. So it was kind of the same thing with the treasurer. I was like, you know, I was asking him for money. You got all that money, man. Loan me some money.
Thank you, Chris Tucker. Thanks. Coming up, we'll talk to the Secretary of the Treasury, Paul O'Neill, Bono's unlikely travel companion in Africa. The press referred to them as the odd couple. Thanks, Chris. Look forward to your movie. We'll be right back.